My name's Eli Delaney, and I have the honor of meeting some pretty cool people. These are the entrepreneurs, the artists, the creatives, the game changers that are making a positive impact in the people that they meet. And I'm a firm believer that the people that you meet can get you anywhere you want to go. And this show is my way of sharing them with you. It's my way of also helping you meet cool people.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Eli here, and today with Meet Cool People, we have this cool friend. He and I have been in the same world for so many years, and we'd actually not had a chance to connect up until more recently. And today's guest is Vance Morris. He's a former birth control factory security guard, which we're going to learn more about that, which is so funny. He's turned that into a wild journey from Disney leader to going bankrupt, out of work executive to a carpet cleaner to successful entrepreneur, doing all the awesome stuff he is doing now. And today he is the guy businesses call when they are bleeding profit and can't figure out why. He's also the only expert on the planet who blends direct response marketing with engineered customer loyalty and retention, which I think is one of the things that gets missed a lot. So with that, Vance, thanks for coming and hanging out with me today.
And the crowd goes wild.
Yeah. How you doing today, my friend?
I am outstanding in a field. Thank you so much. And you?
I'm doing wonderful. Just all kinds of fun stuff. Crazy. It's been crazy busy working on the book, getting that finished up. And I can't be so happy when that thing goes live.
I hear that.
I know. So, okay. I read your bio. I gave a bunch of information about you. You got to tell us more. How did this whole journey go? You're talking about former birth control factory security guard.
Yeah.
That's how you started this journey?
Yeah. Well, it's instructive. I use it for a reason.
Okay.
I mean, our mentor says you got to have something that makes you unique, makes you stand out. And I can guarantee you will not meet another birth control factory security guard probably all week. Just saying. And so, I mean, it gets people's ears listening. They're like, what did he just say?
Yep.
And so you want to get people, interested in what's going to come after that. And so I really did. It was 2 summers while I was in college. I was a security guard at a birth control factory. We made Orthonovum 777 and we made diaphragms.
Okay.
And I actually, my roommate and I are the inventor of a great indoor game when it's really crappy outside. You've heard of Ultimate Frisbee, right?
Yep.
Well, so we created Ultimate Diaphragm, so you can play it indoors.
It's the middle version of it.
What's that?
It's the middle version. It's like putt versus real golf, right?
But no, it was just a great summer job. I did it midnight to 8 and then did lifeguarding during the day. So certainly was not going to be a career choice, but it led for some interesting conversations.
Mm-hmm. That is so funny. So, fast forward through all of that, you talk a lot about the Disney experience, and I'd love for you to kind of go into a bit of that and what took you to that journey. We could talk about we'll bounce around quite a bit on this just because you and I have some great conversations. We've got a lot of great conversations. But, we could talk about, where some of our background in direct response marketing and stuff, but I would love to hear, how did you get to the Disney experience stuff that you're doing?
Yeah. So getting to Disney is a very unsexy story. A buddy of mine from college was a recruiter at Disney, and I was sick of living in Western Maryland. So I just called him up. I said, "Hey, Doug, you got anything for me?" And he said, "Yeah, come on down." So I'm guessing that is not happening today. So I think I probably had the easiest Disney interview in the history of the company. So from there, I mean, I had 10 years there, and I took all 10 years of everything. I mean, all of the crap, all of the good stuff, the processes, the systems, and packaged it up. And I've put them into my own businesses here in Maryland. So I'm not one of those advisors or consultants that's never owned a business. I actually own 3 here in Maryland. I got a mold remediation company, a Oriental rug washing facility, and a traditional carpet cleaning company. And I put those Disney systems into those 3 businesses. So from the get-go, we were marketing to an affluent clientele. I did not want to be cleaning Section 8 housing or rentals or anything like that. Nothing against those folks. They probably deserve clean carpet. I just didn't want to be the one doing it. So we created experiences all around all of the different things we do in carpet cleaning. And then a few years ago, it's actually a lot of years ago, about 13 years ago, people started asking me, how the hell are you doing what you're doing? You don't look like you're working too hard. And you seem like you're doing okay. And so I started consulting with other companies on how to take Disney stuff and adapt it to whatever industry you're in. And the key thing there is you were not copying what Disney does, because hazarding a guess, you don't own a roller coaster or a Cinderella castle or anything like that. So you don't want to copy what they do, but you do want to adapt the things that they're doing into our businesses. So my main job these days is really to take what Disney is doing and figure out how to put it into a financial advisor's practice, or into a wealth manager's practice, or any professional services folks.
That's awesome. And I love it. There's a couple of things that you talked about there that I really want to dive into. Number one is that the Disney experience. And nowadays Disney doesn't have as great of the reputation as it did not even really very long ago. But talk a little bit about the Disney experience. Like, what is it you're talking about, those systems and those things that they're doing that other businesses in the world really should pay attention to and implement in their own businesses?
Yeah, well, it's a term I coined called Disneyfying. And that is taking the boring, mundane things that we do day in and day out to keep our businesses up and running, and figure out a way to create an experience out of them. That's all Disney has done. So, I mean, Disney has to answer the phone, but they've just created an experience out of answering the telephone. And so that's what we want to adapt into our businesses. The other thing, though, with Disney, there's a couple of big points. One is certainly attention to detail. We are all in detail-oriented businesses, and Disney, as such, is the same. But it's the details that they call it over managing, not micromanaging. It's like, what are the details that are important to your business that are you just going to be fanatical about? For Walt, going back to his day, cleanliness of the parks was his thing. And, he literally sat there and watched how far somebody would walk before they dropped a piece of paper on the ground without encountering a trash can. Rumor has it was between 22 and 26 steps. So that's what he said, put all the trash cans 22 to 26 steps apart. That's fanatical attention to detail. I mean, I was sitting there having coffee one morning, and the landscaping guy comes by with his big snippers, and he's snipping the bushes. And like 5 minutes later, the landscaper supervisor is coming behind him with her own little pair of scissors, trimming all the little stuff that he missed.
Yeah.
So that's that attention to detail.
Right.
And then I think the biggest lesson, and it was my first lesson and the biggest lesson I got from Disney, is that it runs on systems and processes. That's how they consistently can deliver a great product or a great experience. So there's no guesswork to it. And if you think about a process or a system, for an entrepreneur, it gives us freedom. So I took a whole bunch of systems and process, marketing system, operation system, you name it, put it into my cleaning businesses. I was able to put a general manager in place. Now I work 90 minutes a week on them, which is essentially nothing. For an employee, it does the same thing. It gives you freedom and brain space for you to be able to do other things. So if you know your job inside and out, and it's just muscle memory and rote because you're following the process, you now have brain capacity to do the nice things Disney is known for. Taking pictures of people, autographs, finding a lost child, all the things that make Disney different is done because they have those systems in place. They're not limiting people creatively. They don't. They are the parameters or the guardrails. You stay within those, and then you let your personality shine from there.
Right. And I think that's so cool, because like I've always been a big one talking about, systematize and create your processes. I always tell people, even if you're a solopreneur, you're working out of your house by yourself, start building the SOPs now, build the processes, get it out of your head for two reasons. And I always tell people this is not just, for everybody else. Like, one, it makes you prepared for when you are ready to bring somebody else in, and it makes it a whole lot easier for you to teach them and just hand it off, because now they have, the guide, whether it's a video or a piece,
Right.
piece of paper to watch, whatever it is. But the second thing is also, it forces you to do the same process over and over again, because we get busy, we get distracted, things happen, we get lazy sometimes, and we end up cutting corners and forgetting things that we were supposed
Right.
to do. And I know that from my own personal experience. I've had times where a client has had a less than great customer experience because of the fact I accidentally forgot a step. And
Right. And
so those SOPs are so powerful.
they are. And, I mean, and I bust them out all the time. So, like my shock and awe box that I send out to large prospects, I still go to the checklist to make sure I got all the crap in the box. And my
Yep.
kids put the boxes together. They're my fulfillment center. It's great having cheap labor around.
Absolutely.
But they're like, Dad, we know what goes in it. No, here's the list. Here's the pictures of where everything's supposed to go in the box and how it's supposed to be organized. I mean, it's just, Kennedy uses the example of, would you get on an airplane and the pilot that day just says, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to do the pre-flight check. I'm just going to wing it. I'm not getting on that plane,
Right.
you know? Um,
Right.
and I don't think there's a pilot in the world that would wing it
Hmm.
and just start flying. So,
We hope
check.
not anyway.
Yeah. I mean, checklists and systems. And they also, if you are going to sell your company, you're adding multiples of value to your business. Just by having a marketing system in place, there's a 1x multiple. You have an operation system in place, there's another 1x. So you're already 2x better than everybody else as far as value, just by having a documented system in place.
Right. No, I think that's a great thought to put into it as well, because a lot of times people aren't thinking that far down the road. And like for those of us like myself, I don't know that I'll ever sell. And if I don't, that's perfectly fine. But I want the systems in place, because as I grow, it just makes life easier. When I brought in assistants to help me out, I'm like, okay, here's the process. Like I have an outsourced company that I work with for a lot of my graphic design, building out campaigns. And matter of fact, like my core campaigns that I help build for clients, I have it down to such a science, and the system is so built with them. I can basically say, okay, we're building the ultimate follow up for XYZ client, follow the steps. And they are picture perfect every
Yep.
single time, which is exactly what we want to do.
Yeah, 100%.
Awesome. You brought up another point that I really want to pay attention to. Actually, we'll come to that in just a second. I want to clarify something, because
Sure.
you mentioned Kennedy, and I want to make sure that everybody knows who we're talking about. Is Dan Kennedy.
Oh,
Like he is like the godfather of direct response marketing. He was and that's how you and I bonded, which was awesome, is because we're both I guess disciples, maybe. I don't know what the right
yeah,
word is.
good word for it.
Yeah, we're followers of old grumpy
We
old
drink the
Dan.
Kool-Aid.
Yeah, and I mean that's how I got started in direct response marketing to begin with. I had my web and graphic design agency, and I was just trying to figure out, okay, how do I get more clients?
Yep.
And I found the ultimate sales letter in it was Borders Books at the time, which
Yep.
nowadays nobody knows who that is, but except for some of us older guys. And it was so funny because that version was actually pretty thin, and if you buy the book now, it's had so many revisions, it's massive. And I'm like, go back to the thin one, it was so much easier.
Yeah, the thin one
But
was great.
the thin one was great. I still have that. I bought the newer one too, and I still go back to the old one. I have that, and the ultimate, was it the marketing?
Ultimate marketing plan.
Yeah, that's it. I bought those books early on when I first got into business, and they were like two of the best books to get me into it. And then, of course, I got sucked into everything else.
You got sucked in. That's right. It's easy to do.
Yeah. But yeah, just so everybody else understands, like when you think about what is direct response marketing, because a lot of people don't know what it is. It's the whole concept is just, your marketing is based on getting a response, get people to say, yes, I'm interested, raise their hands, and so a lot of
Yeah.
people don't understand that. And if you haven't studied Dan Kennedy, I recommend going back and checking at his stuff and look at his older stuff, because it's timeless.
Yeah. And, and if the polar opposite of direct response is what we call Goodyear blimp advertising,
Yeah.
right? And so, and I use this all the time, is that, look, if you want to put your name on a billboard or something, fine. Give me the money. I'll spend it better than you spent it on that billboard.
Right.
But next time you see the Goodyear blimp flying over top of a stadium, the next Monday morning, call up Goodyear and say, hey guys, how many tires did you sell from that blimp flying over top of the stadium?
Mm-hmm.
They can't tell you. They've got no idea. So that's the kind of advertising that everybody sees and they think, oh, we should copy it like the big guys.
Right.
And it is completely opposite of what small business should be doing, which is direct response.
Right.
Going out there with a clear call to action, a drop dead, brain dead offer that's just, you got to be an idiot not to take it. We could go on all day on direct response too.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Well, and I think it's one of the things that some of it is kind of baked into today's society, but there's a lot of it that people don't understand the basic psychology behind it. Like,
Mhm.
what is it that got it started? That's one reason why I love the older, like people that like you and myself. We've been around a long time before we had all the stuff that's out there nowadays. And for me personally, I see so much of it where they took the core principles that we learned, 30 years ago, and now they've bastardized them. And now it's like, well, the reason that they don't work like they used to is because you're over the top. You're acting like a carny,
Yeah,
and stop it.
yeah,
This is stop
exactly.
doing it. Yeah. No, that is awesome. So I want to go down the other rabbit hole here. One of the things that impresses me about you, and this is why I think another reason why you and I gel so much, is because you're helping businesses implement this stuff and get these systems in place and getting, creating that experience for their clients. But you started with your own businesses as well.
Right.
And that is one of the things that I love so much about this, such a rarity. So many people jump into this quote unquote, I'm a marketer world. And literally they signed up for high level. They're still on their trial account, and they watched a couple of videos on, AI something or other,
Yeah.
and it's like, I think that that's one of the things we're missing in a lot of today's business people is experience, like real world experience, doing it for yourself first.
It's like the 19-year-old life coach I ran into last week.
Exactly. Great example of
You
that.
know,
So what do you think? I mean, and I think this is something we could definitely go down all kinds of stuff with, but what do you think is like, where is it your experience has really helped you the most in guiding other businesses to basically avoid the pitfalls and learn the streamlined process that you teach now?
all right. Well, I mean, certainly, I say this with all sincerity, if a carpet cleaner can do it, there ain't a business on the planet that can't do what it is that we're doing.
Yep.
Because if you look at the totem pole of home service businesses, you got electricians and plumbers and pest control, and then carpet cleaners are way down at the bottom. And so, and I use that as my mad lab. That is my street cred, is the fact that everything that I teach are literally the systems that I've used to grow that business and become autonomous. I don't need to be there for that business to run. And the experience systems are some of the things that people overlook. And if you take a page from Disney, or really any entertainment company, is that people love to be entertained. They don't want to be educated. They want to be entertained. And if you just look at society today, what do we pay a movie star versus what do we pay a public school teacher? It's night and day difference. And so how do we in our businesses entertain our clients so that they're interested in us? We have to be interesting people. I don't know if you can see it behind me. Move my head a little bit, but there's what looks like an Oscar Mayer bologna package behind me, and that's actually a Oscar Mayer bologna face mask. So if you remember when we were kids, well, at least I did, we'd cut 2 eye holes out of a slice of bologna and we'd slap it on our face and we'd run around like the Lone Ranger. Well, somebody got the bright idea that should probably be some kind of cosmetic mask. And so now you can put this thing on. I bring that up because I use that in my keynotes as how do you stand out from everybody else? I mean, there is no other cosmetic mask that people wear that looks like a piece of bologna and comes in the Oscar Mayer packaging. So you have to figure out ways to really stand out. Disney does this well. They do it through their service recovery. I mean, they're just known for, I mean, you know, my daughter got we told her to wear socks the last time we were there. She refused to wear socks. We were 5 minutes into one of the parks and she got a blister on her foot. So we go to a little first aid station because they don't sell Band-Aids, but they'll give you one. So we went first aid station. They gave us a Band-Aid for her. And while we were in there, another first aid person ran over to the merchandise store and got a package of socks for my daughter. And she said, you know, it was a pack of 3. She goes, okay, we'll pick out your favorite and put them on. And so my daughter did. And I said, okay, what do I owe you? She goes, oh, don't worry about it. And she put the other 2 pairs of socks in a little baggie. Now, was that Disney's problem or Disney's fault that my idiot daughter decided to not wear socks that day and get a blister? Yeah, you could argue that it's not. But if you want people to leave your business with this, oh my God, you'll never guess what happened when, insert your business here, those are the kind of things that you are memorable for, that what I call tellable, because those are the things that will go viral. Those are the things that people will talk about on social media and help you get better reviews. So I'm not one of those guys that'll tell you, oh yeah, you need to get, 26 Google reviews every week and here's how to do it. No, do things that people genuinely want to write about. They want to talk about something. Might as well give them that something to talk about.
Right. And it is all about, give them, it's just making them feel special. I mean, it really is. And the funny thing about it is like what you just said, you just told this whole story. And I want to put this into perspective for everybody listening. You just told this whole story about what Disney did when your daughter didn't wear socks and got a blister on her foot while she's at Disneyland. And the thing with the whole story is, it's like, oh, well, they were really cool to go ahead and, give you a pair of socks. I'm like, but if you really think about it, how many times have you told that story? I would love to. I mean, probably hundreds now, I would almost guess.
But that's an investment for Disney.
Exactly. That's the point, is like, if you can build that kind of aha moment, somebody's like, oh, wow. And get that above and beyond experience. And it was as simple as a pair of socks, right? I mean, it didn't probably cost them $1. Yeah, it was not a big deal.
Yeah, crap's made in China, of course.
Exactly. Yeah, it probably cost them $1. But instead of trying to sell it to you, which you would never have told the story if they sold it to you.
Right.
But instead, they gave it to you and said, don't worry about it. We got it. And they went above and beyond for this very simple thing. It was only $1, right? But for them, that made them stand out to where now you've told that story over and over and over again. And now it's like, okay, wait a minute. That's really cool. Disney does some pretty cool stuff. And that's going to be memorable by people, where so many of these other things, I mean, like I always tell people, it's like, it doesn't have to be complicated.
Oh God, no.
No, the most important thing is you just have to make sure that people feel special. And it doesn't,
have to
go crazy
either.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. You're right. It does not have to cost anything.
So like just a quick example to, all right, so you're not Disney, you don't have socks to give away. Okay. Right. But my business is different, right? So
because we're all different.
So one of the boring things we do in the carpet cleaning world is we have to get into the home, right? If we can't get in the house, we can't do our job. So we have created an experience out of getting into the home. Now it's going to take me longer to explain than it actually takes to do. So when our technician arrives, we park in the street. We don't park in the driveway. God forbid I got an oil leak. Now there's something else I got to clean up. He gets out of the van. He's got a clean uniform on because he carries extra uniforms with him in case he gets dirty on the job prior. He does not smell, because I forbid smoking and I forbid cologne. Nothing worse than the Marlboro Man smelling like he took a shower in Axe standing in your living room. It's just freaking disgusting. So he gets a little gift and he gets his magic carpet and he goes up to the front door. He lays down the special mat. He knocks on the door. He doesn't ring the bell because friends knock, salespeople ring, takes a couple steps back, waits for the client to answer the door. So when Mrs. McGillicuddy answers the door, she goes, "Hi, my name's Josh. I'm here to create your healthy home. May I come in?" We don't just barge in. When she opens the door, we do an exaggeration, the theater, of wiping our feet on the special mat. We put little booties on our clean shoes. And as we're going in the door, we present Mrs. McGillicuddy with a gift. Now, when was the last time you had anybody coming to your home to do work, a plumber, a water treatment guy, anybody, give you a gift before they did any work? I'm going to probably hazard a guess, it ain't happened. And so by giving the gift, we separate ourselves from everybody else out there. And we get people saying, "Oh my God, you'll never guess what happened when the carpet cleaners came today. They gave me a gift." Now, it's not an expensive gift, but it's a custom blue box. It's got a bottle of spot remover, a little bag of Entenmann's cookies, and a note for me saying, "Thank you for allowing us into your home." That is the get in the door experience that we provide. And secondary to the gift making us stand out, and maybe not even secondary, maybe at the top, is that starts a process called reciprocity. I give something to you, you feel compelled to give something back to me. And so when we implemented that gift, which costs us under $5, we saw a 26% increase in our mid-tier package, which equated to about $65,000, $70,000 in additional sales every year just for that little stinking box.
That is an awesome story. I love it. And it goes through, I mean, you just brought up exactly what I was thinking as you're telling the story, which was reciprocity. You're starting off on a great foot, above and beyond, making them feel special. So at that point, you could screw something up and they're going to be much more forgiving, right? I mean, let's be honest with it. And the beauty of it is that this stuff, like you said, you don't have to spend a lot of money. It could be that $5, It doesn't have to be much. But at the end of the day, if you can have somebody have that wow experience, and they're more likely to be more forgiving. They're going to be nicer to you, which, in today's world, we're around a whole bunch of grumpy people. So if you can get them to actually stop and take the grumpy mask off for a little bit, purely because you started off on the right foot, that can make the entire experience better. And you bet they're going to be telling everybody else about it.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
Absolutely. Love it. This is good stuff. This is great stuff, which I knew it was going to be. So for somebody, let's say, think of somebody who's just starting out, and, we can say somebody's the first year in business and they're trying to figure out, what can I do to create that wow experience? What are a couple of things that you think they might be good to start with? That's generic enough. It'll fit in any category, obviously.
Sure.
But that they can just, put this as part of their SOP right out of the gate.
Let me start with, I didn't come up with that get in the door process all at once.
Mm-hmm.
That was months of iterations, adding to it. We got the mats. Okay, great. So we do the feet wiping. Oh, well, we should probably still put booties on. Fine. So we started ordering booties. So, I mean, it's all iterations. Don't think that, okay, well, Vance has got, all these great ideas. No, we just started with one little idea and worked our way up. And so I think definitely, consultants, copywriters, small business, doesn't matter, can really separate themselves from their competition by offering small little things. Let's say you wrote a book, which hopefully everybody has. And like if you order my book, you can get it on Amazon and it's going to show up in a brown paper bag or a brown box. Kind of boring. But if you get the book from me, and I am so surprised, I don't want to go off on a tangent here, but I was going through a couple of other gurus websites today, and they have the little links. Oh, buy my book, buy my book, buy my book, or get a copy of my book, whatever it is. Right. And you click on it, and it takes you straight to Amazon.
Yep.
I'm like, you guys are idiots. You're not. I mean, seriously, you paid for me for traffic to come to your website, and you send me away without collecting my name, without asking for $1, nothing. That's like, again, the
Yep.
opposite of direct response. So they're
Yep.
morons. I mean, I
Yeah.
still got their book on Amazon, but the royalties they're going to get are pennies.
Well, that's good. I haven't got your book yet, so I'm gonna have to order it from you directly.
Yeah.
I'll make sure of
Well,
that. And
so, but
as my book is getting ready to come out, I've already been thinking about building that out in there anyway. So I know I'm on the right track.
so for me, I was like, okay, we need to make an experience out of this. We need to make an unboxing experience. Those things are really popular on YouTube. You know, people
Right.
unbox stuff. I don't watch that crap, but all right. So I got a custom box made. So now you open it up and there's a nice little saying and it's all nice colors on the inside. Then a couple of months later, I'm like, oh, well, it's a book. It should probably have a bookmark in it. Okay, great. So I ordered a bookmark and, oh, well, the bookmark kind of gets lost. Maybe I should put a tassel on it. Okay, great. Now there's a little tassel on the bookmark. Oh, it's kind of a workbook. I should include a pen. Okay, fine. Now there's a pen in the box. Like, oh, well, they bought something. I should include a thank you letter. So now there's a thank you note in there. And then I'm like, well, I'm sending all this crap already. I might as well put a sales letter in there too. They might be interested in some of my stuff.
Yep.
So now when you get the box, it's, pretty much Vance in a box when you
Right.
open the thing up. And again, that was all iterations. Didn't really cost me a whole heck of a lot. I mean, yeah, you got to do the box and then the pen and everything,
Right.
but the impact that it makes. And then on the outside of the box, so people will say, oh, that sounds rigid or that sounds, very processed. And I'm like, yes, that is the process.
Mhm.
But then where you personalize it, I take a big blue Sharpie and the outside of my box is white and I will write a personal note, hey, Eli, thanks so much for grabbing my book and sign my name.
Nice.
So there's the personalization that you do on the end of a process. There's that. And then do you have to answer the telephone, for your business? Make an experience out of that. So I had some insurance agents. I was doing a presentation with a group of them and got a private client out of them. He was an Allstate agent. And there were probably like 15 or 16 other Allstate agents in his town, plus another 75 insurance people. And he was just tired of getting, price shopped, tire kickers. I mean, just talk about a commoditized market.
Right.
And, how do you choose one insurance agent from another? That's, you can go by the little lizard on the commercial or Flow or whatever, but, you're not going to ever meet them in real time.
I still want to meet the lizard.
What's that?
I still want to meet the lizard.
I still want to meet the lizard. Exactly. So I found out he was a rock and roll fanatic. So if you go into his office, he's got gold records on the wall, autographed guitars, posters of The Who and Led Zeppelin.
Mhm.
And if you don't know who they are, Google it later. Again, showing my age. And so we said, you should really lean into this rock and roll thing. I mean, you're already doing it in the office. Well, let's get it out there.
Right.
So his receptionist actually came up with the idea on how to answer the phone. So you call most companies and you get, thank you for calling Dave's Insurance. How can I help you?
Right.
Thousands of companies answer the phone that way. So she said, well, we should probably sound rock and rollish. And so now they all sound like Wolfman Jack when they answer the phone. Thank you for calling Dave's Allstate, the agency that rocks.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds corny the first 16 times you say it, but if you remember what your marketing is supposed to do, it's got two jobs: attract the people you want and repel the people you don't want. And just by answering the phone that way, he sifts, sorts, and screens out people that would just not be a good client for him.
Right. No,
and it cost him nothing.
Cost him nothing. That's the best part of it, and it is so funny. And something I want to bring up, because as you're telling all this stuff, something I remember, and I don't remember who it was that I heard it from originally. Actually, I think it was Joe Polish of all people. And it was like, you'll get tired of your marketing way faster than anybody else will.
Yeah.
And so when we look at like the things like that after a while you're like, yeah, it's kind of goofy. I'm kind of tired of doing it. It's like, no, keep doing it, because you're the only one that's tired of it. You're the only one that thinks it's really that goofy. The ones that the other people that think it's goofy are probably not your best clients anyway. Get rid of them.
Well, I mean, we do get bored and we have that inclination, we want to tinker with stuff. And Kennedy told me this, he goes, you want to have, if you've got an evergreen marketing piece, that, and evergreen means you could just use it again and again and again, and
Yep.
it doesn't matter. You've really hit on something. And so, I mean, I had a couple of full page newspaper ads I didn't mess with for 4 or 5 years, just because the copy worked, the offer was right for the audience. And trust me, I wanted to, oh, that image, I need to better, I don't like the font. No, don't mess with it.
If it
And it
ain't
was all I
broken,
could do,
don't
not
fix it.
touch it.
If it ain't broken, don't fix it.
Exactly. And the only time you should change is if you see your ROI starting to tank.
Right.
Then maybe, okay, look at the offer.
Right. No, I agree with that one. And it's, I mean, you're talking about evergreen. It's like anybody who follows me knows that I run evergreen email campaigns.
Right.
And, I built my campaign back in 2013. It is now 2026, and I am just starting to rebuild that campaign because I'm like, all right, I've been doing this with enough other people. I've made some revisions on the process and the framework behind it. Yeah, I should probably update my own for that. And so I'm in the process of doing that right now. But that's a long time that campaign has been running and working.
Yep.
Which is the key.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, update it to keep it current, maybe change the story, because I don't know what was going on in 2013. I don't know what happened last week, but 2013.
No, awesome stuff. All right. Well, we're getting close to time here. Is there any last nuggets of wisdom you'd like to share with anybody before we land the plane here?
Yeah, I think I have one saying. I don't have many quotes. I'm not that smart. But
I'm going to pull a bunch of them out of this one.
Yeah. But it's, you won't profit unless you implement. That's all I'm known for, is implementation. I even got the Dave D King of Implementation Award a few years ago, because he would say something and then I'd just get it done by the next day. And but if you don't implement, you're not going to move the needle. So, I mean, hopefully you got a nugget or two out of this podcast, or you heard something else today, or you read something. Take one of these ideas and go do it, because that's the only way you're going to move the needle. And that's it.
Yep. Well said, my friend. Awesome. All right. Well, we got 2 last questions for you. Last one's the easy one. How do people get a hold of you? So we'll do that in just a second. Sure. But before that, this is the Meet Cool People show. And I always ask every one of my guests, what do the words meet cool people mean to you?
Oh, wow. Oh, geez, put me on the spot and in the spotlight on this one. It means meeting people that are not always in my world, and people that understand what an entrepreneur is all about, and being an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs are lonely people. That's why I don't go to cocktail parties with my wife anymore, because all of her friends' husbands have jobs. I got nothing in common with them. So when I get a chance to meet cool people, which is usually another entrepreneur, I jump at it.
I love it. That is awesome. And it is, that is one of the things a lot of people don't really think about, is like how entrepreneurs do tend to be lone wolves way more than we really should be. And that's why, how you and I met with Success Champions, and several of my guests have been through Success Champions, because that's where all the cool people are hanging out. These are where we get to have these great conversations. So
100%.
Yeah, well said, my friend. All right. So if somebody wants to follow more of the amazing Vance, where can they find you?
Sure. Well, the only social media I'm on is LinkedIn. I think I'm the only Vance Morris Disney guy out there. And then I do have a free gift for everyone. I would not be a direct response podcast if I didn't have an offer. And it is 52 ways to wow your customer without breaking the bank. So it's 1 wow for every week of the year. So if you're not feeling creative, this will take care of it for you. And you can find it at wow52ways.com.
Awesome. Love it, my friend. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out today. I knew this was going to be awesome, and you definitely brought the heat for it. So I appreciate it.
I appreciate you having me on. Thanks, Eli.
All right, everybody else, get out there. Have an amazing, amazing week. Anything I can do to help you out, reach out, let me know. Take care.
And that wraps up another Meet Cool People show. Now, if you like what you heard, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, or review so I can help introduce these amazing cool people to even more amazing cool people. And just remember, meeting cool people is just the beginning. You need to have a system in place to follow up with the amazing people that you meet. This is exactly what we do for our clients. Now, if you'd like to see if my team and I can help you, go to convertmoreclientsnow.com and check out the case study video to see exactly how we're helping our clients turn casual connections into cash clients for life. Again, go to convertmoreclientsnow.com and see how we can work together to turn you into a follow-up rock star.